In this video, we're going to be showing you guys the most effective way to run a 4-line spread. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. We are going to be going over some of the best saltwater trolling lures and the speed you should be running to get into the bite. When you're trolling offshore, you guys are going to want to start with your furthest line so you guys avoid tangles or knots. At our furthest line, we got this little small pink squid going out. I highly recommend running your smaller lure on the further line. There's a lot of different small lures I like to run. I really just change it up depending on the day. You guys could also run like a little small tuna feather like this, but I highly recommend running some type of feather because usually your blackfin tuna are not going to come into the whitewash, so you're going to want to have something smaller out there that they could eat. I recommend putting this line about 70 seconds out just so you don't tangle with now the third line. So now let's get into the third line. At the third line, we got one of my favorite lures, and it's this bird teaser. So what this does is it creates a little commotion for the lure you have behind it. We usually run a little feather behind it or just a little small chugger, whatever you really prefer to put behind this lure, but I'm telling you guys, this bird teaser works really good. I highly recommend putting it in your spread, and I would put this at about 50 seconds behind the boat, and I'm telling you guys will get bit. If you guys don't want to run this bird, you also can run this high speed vibe. This thing gets chewed. We've caught wahoo on this, tuna, mahi, and it's really simple. All you got to do is just tie it up to your line. I would put it on fluorocarbon or wire. You would put it about 50 to 55 seconds behind the boat, and that's the right number. So now let's get into line number 2. At number 2, we got the sea witch. This is like a must-have in the spread. If you guys aren't using these in your spread, you guys are definitely missing out. So I'm going to show you guys how we rig this and how we use it. We first are going to add our bonita strip. There's a lot of different things you can fish behind these sea witches. Now a lot of people make these artificial strips. But if you guys really want to go with something that you're probably ever going to get more bites with, I highly recommend just using a nice, simple bonita strip. So all we're going to do is we're going to rig this up. We now are going to add a planer to this rig. So about 100 feet after we put out the lure, there's a little wind on. This wind on, basically, we're just going to attach this planer. And what this planer does is it takes your bait down deeper. So if you aren't using this planer, your bait's just going to stay on top of the water. But with this planer, our bait's going to be in about 30 to 40 feet deep. This is only a number 4 planer. But I'm telling you guys do want to have a planer on your lines because it's going to give you a better chance of getting into your wahoo, tuna, and dolphin, and some days this is the only rod that gets bites. Now that we rigged up that planer, we're gonna put it about 40 seconds behind the boat. As you guys know, the other line was 50 seconds and the other was 70, so 40 is the right number, and this planer is gonna be a little deeper, so it should not knot up. So now after we put this 40 seconds behind the boat, now we're gonna show you our last line. Our last line is extremely similar to our other line. The only difference is that this one is blue and white, and the head is a little different. This one actually is a flat head. The other one was a little smaller. But this is going to be our number 6 planer. The number 6 planer is going to go a little deeper into that 50, 60 feet of water. And we're going to only put this one 20 seconds behind the boat. Now that we've rigged up all our lines, we're going to be trolling at about 7 to 9 knots. That's the ideal speed for your tuna, dolphin, wahoo. You could go a little faster if you really just want to target your wahoo. But I highly recommend just going 7 to 9 to get more bites. We hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys want to catch more fish, like and subscribe.